Welcome, it's Time Warner Cable's local edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. We are joined by the mayor of Glendora. Her name is Karen Davis. Like all cities in California, you're facing the crush of the drought. We know Governor Brown recently announced a mandatory reduction of 25% off of 2013 levels. Glendora, you know, it's a fairly affluent city. You have lots of beautiful lawns. How are you facing this?
It's going to be challenging, and we're in the process of trying to digest everything that the governor and the legislature have sent down to us, because there are so many restrictions, and we're trying to figure out exactly what is that going to mean for the city as well as the citizens, because we have a lot of open space, parks, medians, and all of that we have to decide how to respond to.
So as a city, not so much as a resident, is it time to start looking at those medians? I mean, should you be maybe putting in drought-tolerant plants or some type of hardscape?
And we began that a few years ago, but I've only made a little dent in it in terms of all of the medians. But that is part of what we're looking at right now, is the feasibility of that in terms of the financial obligations.
As residents, I mean, this is a very impressive flyer. We know that the MWD is offering rebates.
We're partnering with them.
You're partnering with them, so you see this is as an example of what this city is doing. There's this rebate program, the turf removal program. Are residents jumping on board when they see this?
Yes, it's great, because this last year we removed 2 million square feet of turf. And so when you think about what the governor has asked the state, that we've done about 4% of what the state's been asked
which
to
is
do.
very nice.
Yeah,
which is
so
very
we're excited about that. But a big chunk of that has been the Glendora Country Club. We have to give them kudos, because they've removed 1.5 million square feet in partnership with Three Valleys Water District and MWD. And so it's been tremendous that that's made a big impact.
Does that country club have a golf course?
Yes.
So that presents challenges.
Right.
Golf courses by definition are green and beautiful and lush. We think about our friends in the Coachella Valley. I mean, the whole region is golf courses, and yet it is a desert. And so what are you doing in Glendora, for example, as with just one golf course there? How do you manage that?
It's challenging, because Southern California is a desert, and so we appreciate their commitment and leadership to trying to make a dent in reducing that water consumption and replace as much turf as possible.
I want to get a sense from you if you're hearing the following, because there is some chatter about the governor and his order. He ordered that we, residents, commercial entities, reduce our water use by 25%.
And we just got news yesterday that he's asking the city of Glendora to reduce it by 35%.
Because you're one of those more affluent cities that use more just because of the size of your plots. But we only use 20% of the state's water.
Right.
Ag uses 80%. So are people starting to agitate on that issue? Why do we have to bear the whole burden?
I think a little bit that people are saying, hey, this isn't fair. But when you stop for a minute and think of some of the arguments, pro and con, that's our food we're talking about, we're talking about jobs, and that they're much more efficient with their water use than perhaps some residents are that water their yards twice a day.
Or after a rain. Or
Exactly. And so we're hoping that residents begin to be voluntarily compliant, because we don't want to become the water police.
And that's my question. Do you have an enforcement mechanism? Because I believe you do have a water program where you can only water on certain days.
Right. Well, our watering was previously, we had put in the mandate that you can only water before 8 a.m. and after 5 p.m. and to try to turn off your sprinklers after a rain. But now, by order of the governor, it's 2 days a week. So now we have to decide how we're going to go about enforcing that.
And you'll come back and tell us how you do that. Her name is Karen Davis. She is the mayor of the beautiful city of Glendora, California. My name is Brad Pomerance. It's Time Warner Cable's local edition.